What's up, everybody? This is JP. I'm happy to be here. A lot of people have been asking questions about the ant people. The ant people. You know, how they felt, the full story of, I did this update with Dr. Michael Sala 2 years ago, and it's update 14. So if you go through exopolitics.org, you're going to see update 14, and that's where I talk about this mission, visiting the ant people. Throughout history, even the Hopi stories and beautiful connections, there's even ancient, beautiful art describing these beautiful people that out of nowhere they come out and they communicate with people and they teach them the ways of nature, teach them the ways of how to live. Throughout the United States, we know we have national parks, and I know other countries also have national parks. I'm sure Russia, China, Brazil, they got their own national parks that they protect. In Brazil, Caldas Novas is one of them. It just became a national park because the visitation has been growing since NASA put out that picture of the ark over there in Caldas Novas in Brazil. So that's cool. See, so many national parks, and we know that a lot of people, they say they get lost in the national parks. The majority of people that get lost, it's a lot. But it's not that they get lost. It's that they enter into this realm, and they see how beautiful these people live, and they just want to stay there. It's not that they're taken. It's just they go and they see how life is and how easy, and they just want to stay there. Okay? This mission happened in the vicinity of Eglin Air Force Base. So the Panhandle. North of Eglin Air Force Base, you got Alabama. West from, you got Louisiana, So, and then south, you got the Gulf of America or Gulf of Mexico, whatever you want to call it. But now it's Gulf of America. Okay? We were doing land navigation, okay? And we were kind of lost in the woods already doing land navigation. There was 8 of us. There's one guy that he was really good at doing land navigation. We were in OCPs. And we were dressed in the greens, OCPs. The uniform, the regular uniform. So, in the distance, we see 3 minivans that they approach. 3 minivans. And they were Mercedes-Benz, I remember them. And there were 8 of us there. And we see that these minivans, they approach, right? And we're like, oh man, here we go again, We feel it, we just feel it when something is going to happen or a mission is going to occur. So that's why they want us to do land navigation. So these minivans, they approach, they park, and the person that is driving says, get in, let's go, we have to go, hurry up. high ranking, whoever was driving, so we have to listen. The land navigation guy, he was a higher ranking dude, and we were following him through the woods, practicing how to do land nav, doing the points for the maps, and just making sure we know how to do land nav. If there's no GPS in the future or something happens, the GPS goes down, we know how to navigate through the woods or navigate through whatever war zone we go to. So they picked us up, and 3 went into one, another 3 went into another one, and 2 went into the last van. I was part of that 2. So we got a driver and we got other soldiers sitting in the front of these minivans, but in the back, when I entered this minivan, there was black OCPs there hanged already for us to change. And they said, change it up. So everybody, I assume everybody in the other vans, they changed their clothes. So we changed our clothes to the black types of tactical OCPs. Like, oh man, where are we going now? And I remember the trip being like 45 minutes around there. And the base is huge. I took Laura Eisenhower and I drove her in the base like for 40 or almost an hour inside the base itself. Inside the base itself, you have to understand that there's different also branches, and we have stuff that you wouldn't imagine. The Area 51 of the South. It's an amazing. The American military, we have amazing stuff. All right, don't mess with us. The best military in the whole world. So we travel. I change. They train you to change in like 2 or 3 minutes. So you were like racing, changing up, putting on our clothes. And we get to this location, and in the distance, we hear this helicopter, this Black Hawk helicopter that is flying over us, and we can feel the vibration of it. And they're radioing the driver, saying, "Hey, you guys are okay to get off. Nobody has been following. We see a couple hogs here and there, but other than that, you're good to go." So the reason the Black Hawks, they follow us to make sure nobody else is following, or no drones or nothing is following the location that we're going. So we get to this location, and everybody mounts off dressed in black, and we're all laughing at each other. We're like, yeah, they got you. They got us, So everybody's changed up already in black uniform. And we start walking maybe a mile or 2 miles and a half. And we're walking, the guys look at the map, and we keep seeing the helicopter coming back and forth, making sure that we're okay. And this guy stops in this big, big bush, right? And we look at it, and he's like, surround this bush. So we surround this bush, and he brings out like a little flute, right? And he starts playing this tune. I'm like, what the heck this guy is doing? Everybody was laughing. Everybody was like, what the heck is he? Where did he get that metal flute from? Like, what the heck is going on? And he starts playing this melody. And when he starts playing this melody, sometimes in ancient times, they used melodies as keys to open up doors. Okay. The technology was there. The device hears a melody, and it opens up the door. Imagine how, we got fingerprint technology. We got other types of technology to open doors. But the technology that a device can hear a melody to unlock a door, that's unbelievable. That's kind of cool. And more that the ancients probably used it a lot to open up these ancient ruins. That's why when we went to the Ark and the Aztec Indians, they sang a certain way, a certain tune, AKURIA mate activation occurred. So that's kind of interesting. I'm going to look into that to patent a couple ideas. I said it here first in the video, okay? How to unlock certain things using certain melody. I'm sure musicians will love this technology. So it's here. Nobody copy it. All right. So I said it first. I saw it. I'm sure ancient people have thought about this, but this, I'm going to try to bring this out. Okay. It's cool technology. So he starts playing the flute, and this thing opens up like a shell, and you can hear like a pressure, and a little bit of smoke comes out. We're like, what the heck? You know those trapdoor spiders, the little spiders that they have like a little trapdoor that opens up, and they come out and they come in. So this looked like a giant trapdoor that was opening up. Okay. And it opened up, but the bush was connected on top of it, and the bush was real. Like I felt it. It was ripping it, and it grew on top of this shell-looking thing. So we're like, oh shit! Oh man, what the heck? Oh man, what is this? So we're like, whoa, what's happening here? So the guy with the map, he says, follow me. We're like, we're going in there. Oh, man. Jeez. So we start walking, right? And we start walking in these stairs. And I described it in update 14. The smell was like, you know when you go to a farm and you see and you smell the cows, or you smell the hay? You know that farm vibe? I know a lot of people would know like what I'm talking about. When you go to a farm, or when you go to a stable where there's a lot of horses with hay, you know that smell of farm, that beautiful smell of farm? When we entered that tunnel, going down the stairs, that's what we smelled. A smell of like farm. And we entered and we were going down the stairs. We went down the stairs like for like 8 or 10 minutes. We were like going down the stairs, and then it stopped. And then you go, and then going down the stairs, you see like ancient looking medieval lanterns, right? And we're like, who the heck turn on these lanterns? Like, have they been on? Like, what's going on? Have they been expecting us? And apparently, yes, they have been expecting us. Somebody in the government contacted the Ant Kingdom and said, hey, there's a group of soldiers going down there to do, research and to show them around and this and that. And we're like, okay, lanterns are on. We're traveling down. And then we went through a tunnel that didn't have these lanterns, but it was still lit up with a bluish white light in the distance. And we kept walking, and then we go up stairs. We start going up. I'm like, oh man, this is a workout. Everybody it's like behind me saying, oh man, my legs, because going down the stairs, going up the stairs, going off these ramp hallways. So we start going up the stairs, and it levels out again, and we keep walking. It felt like a maze, because I know we're heading right, and then left, up the stairs, down, down, down. And when the stairs go down, they curve a little bit down, going more down. We went down. Like, we went down. We started seeing the cave system, like, dripping water. And we're like, man, we're really down. And the smell was, like, even more intense with the hay looking smell. We're feeling good. We kept walking, following the guy that had the map. And then in the distance, we see these doors, and we see these 2 guards. And I'm like, what the heck? And they're wearing robes. And when we look at their faces, we're like, oh shit, these are different people. These are different people. They're holding a staff and all that. And they're in the distance, and they're blocking this door. So they went like this to us, and we approached, and the door just opened. But we passed a couple of these, of two guards. Every time there's two guards, we were passing, I think, like a zone. You know, they look at it like zones. And we kept going. And we kept passing these two guards, and some of the locations did not have doors. We kept walking. And we met up with these type of elders, right? And their face, I couldn't forget their face. They got bigger eyes. You know, their eyeballs are bigger. Their nose are more flat. I know a lot of people might confuse them with probably grays. Like if you see them without the robe or with a different uniform or something different, and they don't have the antennae looking majiggy thingies that they have, I think people would confuse them with grays. Yeah. What I think is these ant people, some of them made it to the surface, but did not want to stay in the surface. So they ended up going to space and started visiting other planets. And then when they come back, the gravity or the location that they stayed for thousands of years changed the way they are. You know, just like human beings. You know, we got the Chinese or Oriental or Japanese looking people. We got the people from India that look different. We got people from Africa that, you know, they have a darker skin color. We got people in America that is a mixture, and we have white people in Europe, you know. We got the Nordic extraterrestrials that probably branched out from us, or we branched out from them. So these ant people, their facial features look similar to us. Their lips smaller, Oriental, big eye looking. Their color is like a brownish gray color. So quite interesting. And they're wearing robes. Their fingers are longer. And they approached us, and we approached them. Three approached. I was one of the three that approached the elders. And they kept talking to us like in the language that one person understood. And a lot of gestures. You can see their smile. They're happy to meet with us. They're really politically, like, really, really correct. And we were walking through a city that was like, probably, you could see in the distance, like 15 football fields or 14 football fields. Huge. You can see in the distance, you can see people, and regular human beings also was walking among us. And they looked like elders as well. They had beards, but they were in the distance walking with us. And we were walking through the city, and they were showing us around. They were like pointing certain things, and we were like, whoa. The other guys, they stayed behind. So the other five, they stayed with the guards over there. I think they didn't let more than 3 people to enter the full, but they could still see the city. So they were like, oh shit, look at this. Oh man. Oh, wow. We didn't have no radio contact with the outside world once that thing shut down. We didn't have no radio contact, so we only had contact with each other. So the radio contact that we had was only with the soldiers that were with the security guard. So they kept walking, and we kept walking with them. They kept showing us around. In the distance, I could see little caverns, right? And they were like around. They were like oval looking. And then you could see that inside, it looked like little apartments. And they were closing closing the view for us not to see them. I guess they were like we don't want to see you guys. You know, keep our distance. Like, and we saw a lot of domesticated animals too. We saw a lot of dogs, warthogs, pigs. They were different looking. I guess they've been separated so long from the upper earth that the inner earth changed the way they live, changed their facial features. The pigs, their snout was a little bit longer. It could move more, like little elephants type of pigs. So with the dogs, their legs were longer, looking more like wolves, but their snout was not like the wolf. It was more like a pug. You know, it was more smaller, and you can see more of their facial features. Like, they were smart. These dogs, really smart. The way they look at you, the way they walked around. You know, dogs are smart already, but these dogs are like a little bit smarter. They were communicating with the ant people like if they were communicating for real, like with gestures, and it was quite interesting. We kept walking, and they were showing us a type of not lake, but it was like a spring. It was an amazing experience that I would never forget. They gave us something. And also, yes, we saw the spring and everything, but a lot of people asked me questions about the humans that live there. I assume that they live way longer inside these cave systems connected with the ant people. They have longer beards. It looked like they forgot what the upper earth looks like, you know, and got used to what the inner earth feels like. They have clearer eyes. They're a little bit more pale. Yeah, they don't get sun. Their eyes being lighter, that means they can see better in the dark. So it's amazing how they adapted to live in the inner earth. And I'm sure there's other pockets of inner earth that branch out and are humans that have their own culture. So it's not just the ant people that live in the inner earth. There's a lot of different types of different things that live in the inner earth, and different types of civilizations that are humans that look different from us, that live in the inner earth. You know, but one of these civilizations, yes, they are the ant people, and I believe that the ant people helped these humans to survive something, and they just forgot about the upper earth, and all they know is the inner earth. Same thing that the humans that live in space, they believe Earth was probably destroyed, or Earth can't be occupied no more, and they stay up there, and they, you know, humans that look like Indians have a city living in the moon that don't know nothing about us, you know. So this mission, you know, I know I went in there normal, but back of my head, I was like, holy crap, if people knows about this, if people only knew about this, and not only inner earth, in the oceans. My next video is going to be a description of how I went to the ocean city. and describe more details using a description videos that I've been doing. Just to describe a little bit more about my missions and the upcoming missions that I'm going to have as well. I got visited, my last update with Dr. Michael Sala, I talked about, I got visited by these 3 orbs, and it showed me, and a voice came down to me saying, hey, you're going to go back to the ark to see. So I'm just waiting when they call me to go, and I'll surely get the green light to talk about what's happening in the Pacific in this beautiful ark that is moving around. It's above the ocean, it's under the ocean. People are recording this massive ark. They're keeping it in tight wrap. Right now, it's in between Puerto Rico and Venezuela. So, see what happens. There's going to be a lot of good things. This was a quick video, but I'll probably do a part 2 on how we came back on the ant mission. Okay? I love you guys. Thank you for supporting me. Make sure you go to jp.missions on Instagram. I'm going to be posting more about my life stories there. Also, all those people in Patreon, thank you. I love you. Thank you for the support. Also, on X, I'm getting a lot of support there. On Facebook also, all these people. And I applaud everybody that's doing their job in the military, in the best military of the whole world, the United States of America. Join the military if you haven't joined. If you're young, going to the age of 40, hey, join or under. Join the military. It's going to change your life, your perspective of how you see things in the civilian sector. Okay, join. Just go to your nearest. I'm not promoting, I'm not a recruiter, none of that. I'm just saying it's going to change your life. It changed my life. I support the military. I support the United States 100%. I love it. It's the best country in the whole world. And we're together, okay? Much love para todo o Brasil. Obrigado. Beijos. It's a quick video, but I'll do a part 2. I'll surely do a part 2. Much love. If you guys want to hear more of my missions like this, like I've been doing, just let me know in the comments if you like it. Okay, but much love to all. AKURIA mate. AKURIA mate. AKURIA mate. JP out.
Carries within him the glow of 1,000 suns. Boots on the ground, but his heart flies away to the stars where silence hums. A soldier's destiny, where the cosmos infinite. He's a soldier.